So today we continue with our class Hilchot Talmud Torah, and we start with Sefer Chaim. The big topic is the same. Listen to Rehilus, and Rehilus is a negative information. Just said somebody told us what somebody said about us, about our family. So that's the Rehilus. Even the speaker cannot be stopped. Well, I'm sorry, when the speaker cannot be stopped. So before that, we said we have to stop somehow. So the easiest way to stop is to change the subject, but later on you have to rebuke that person anyway. It's not like privately. Okay. When the speaker cannot be stopped. When one finds himself in a company of someone speaking the Hilus and finds it difficult to interrupt the speaker, he must leave. If one cannot bring himself to actually walk away, he must, at the very least, not pay attention to what's being said and must make clear through facial expression that he disapproves of discussion. Okay, so the best way, of course, just stand up and leave. Try to stop. Person is not listening, not reacting. Just stand up and leave. That's it. So, but otherwise, you cannot leave. It's in a meeting of your company. I don't know, for whatever reason, you cannot leave. So just try not to pay attention and with facial expression. Show that's I don't approve it. Don't smile. Don't do any things that might be viewed as approval. Okay, stop here. All right. So we continue with. Hilchot Talmud Torah, and then chapter 4 and Halachah number 5. So last Halachah was very interesting, as all of them is very educational. So we said that a student must understand what he or she is learning, right? And how the teacher cannot even display the anger, right? The last time we said when the teacher loses his patience, right, or he's upset, so students should tell him, like, my teacher, this is Torah, it is necessary that I study, and my powers of comprehensions are weak, so I if you need to repeat many times, so let's please repeat many times for me. That's not your problem, that's my problem, and usually it comes, I think, it calms everybody down, right? Why are you so, right, angry with this student? Okay. So Halachah number 5. So let's see how long. Okay, so we read without commentaries first. It says a student should not be embarrassed because his colleague grasped the subject matter the first or a second time, while he did not understand it until it was repeated a number of times. If he becomes embarrassed because of such matter, he will find himself going in and out of the house of study without learning anything. Right? We're going to explain. It's a lot to add to this. According to the sages of the previous generation stated, a bashful person will not learn, nor should a short temper teach. When does the above apply? When a student did not understand the subject matter because of the depth or because of their limited powers of comprehension. However, if it appears that to the teacher that they are not applying themselves to the words of Torah and are lax about them, and therefore do not understand, he is obligated to display anger. So not be angry, but display anger, right, toward them, and shame them with his words, to sharpen their power of concentration. In this context, our sages said, cast fear onto students. Therefore, it is not fitting for a teacher to act frivolously in the presence of his students. So all of these rabbis, right, that play basketball with students and go into hiking and this and that, that's what Torah thinks about them, right? He should not go to a sports game and stuff like that, right? He should not amuse himself in their presence, nor should he eat and drink with them, with the students. This restriction are intended so they fear him and study under him at the fast pace. Okay, so a lot to learn from this halacha. So it's number 5, right? So from the beginning, with commentaries, any questions, interrupt. A student should not be embarrassed, commentary, and therefore refrain from asking questions. So many times, if you have question, so like most of the time, so other people have the same questions, and maybe like the same question, and maybe they did not understand half what you understood. So please never be embarrassed to ask the question, right? So it's not like when we learn, it's not a competition, right? In Judaism there is no competition. Like there are no like specific tests. Who is get 100, who is not 95, who is 75, right? So everybody have their own capability, their talents and stuff like that. So I mean, one person understands that subject better, and another like not so much, not from the first 2 times. There is no problem to ask the question and clarify the things. Okay, so one more time, a student should not be embarrassed because his colleague grasped the subject matter at the first, second time. Right? So okay, so you don't understand, ask the question. While he did not understand it until he repeated a number of times. 27. On the contrary, he should ask that it is be repeated, and his colleagues are obligated to show him the courtesy and patiently listening to repetition. Right? So all of these people who are smarter than him should be listening. And I would say just add to this. Sometimes people think that they understand, and then somebody asks questions, and the teacher would explain second time, third time, whatever, how many times he would explain, and that person would understand like that he did not understand correctly. He was missing details, right? I mean the person who thought that he understood from the first time. So don't be embarrassed. Ask the questions. 37. Continue. If he becomes embarrassed because of such matters, he will find himself going in and out of the house of study without learning anything. So that's a scary thing, right? So if the person is embarrassed, and and the deeper you learn, so it's actually build up, right? So they build up on what we said yesterday, what we said before yesterday, what we said a month ago, a year ago, right? And so so if person like misses one subject or 2 subjects or 3 subjects, so now he's going in and out of as I say, the study session, study hall, and he does not understand, and it's very scary, and I would say for that person it's very frustrating, right? That he cannot grasp. Why? Because he missed these few times, I guess, when we're building up the basics. Very interesting. Okay. Okay. So commentaries say 28 brachas 63b teaches any student who humbles himself because of the words of the Torah will ultimately be uplifted. Right? So it's a promise from a Talmud. A student who humbles himself because of the words of the Torah, right? He wants to learn, and that's he's trying to understand from second time, third time, doesn't matter, from many times. Okay, he's trying. It's not like he's lazy, right? He ultimately he will be uplifted, right? Ultimately, HaShem is going to open that person's brain, and that person would be a star and he would be much better than people who understood from the first time. And I know the story of the first hand. Person was very diligent, and he knew that he's like bottom of the class, and he said, I need reach the goal, and he reached the goal. So it was actually about the job, but doesn't matter. I mean we gave him chizuk, and he got the job first out of his class, but he was like on the bottom of the list. Unbelievable. Good job. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So here it says that if any student who humbles himself because of the words of the Torah that he's trying to understand, I'm just adding the words, will ultimately uplifted. So Hashem is going, you, that's what you want? You want to learn my Torah? You're trying so hard? Okay, I'm going to give you. Right? I give you as a gift. Rashi explained that this refers to a student who asks all the questions that bothers him, even though his colleagues look down upon him. So don't worry about other people. And so people, many people, kids, adults, doesn't matter. I mean, I think, right? So people are like, what? You don't not know? You don't know? Like, but you knew? No, you also did not know. But I asked, you did not. So and now like people are trying to like in their mind to be better than somebody else. If I'm better than somebody else, though, that I'm okay, which is total nonsense. Right, so whatever they're going to look at you down, this and that, so don't worry about it, and just continue what you're doing, and remember that Hashem is very, very satisfied with you, and He's willing to give you a big gift for this. Okay, big blessing. Rashi explained that this refers to a student who asks all of the questions that bothers him, even though his colleagues look down upon him. Of course, some people ask the question because of the show, right? They want to show that they know something, think or two. Okay, that's a different story, right? So they would take all of the attention of the class and this and that. That's a different story. But the person who genuinely wants to know and he does not understand, that's what he wants to clarify, right? Whatever he learned in another class, in another book, and he wants to clarify, that's he must ask all of the questions. Okay, 38. Continue. Accordingly, the sages of the previous generation stated in Pirkei Avos 2:5, a bashful person will not learn, nor should the short-tempered teach. Okay. Number 40. The two faults lead to the same difficulty. A teacher will explain the subject matter in a manner that which thinks is correct. However, it is not. It will not be grasped by the students. Okay, so the problem is a bashful person, right? What is a bashful person? So the bashful person is embarrassed to ask. So I mean. Is embarrassed, very, very embarrassed. So that's so he would or she would come to the wrong conclusion in their mind and live by it, and maybe all of the life they would be wrong. Why? Because they're bashful and they did not ask the question. But today I think it's much easier. So if you want to speak up, so you can write a text message, email, whatever. There are many non-verbal ways of communication. You like even if you bashful, so write email, copy and paste, send email, send a text message, WhatsApp message, whatever, and there is no reason why a person should have any doubts or any questions. Okay. So and the second problem, right? Nor a short-tempered teach. Okay, so if this person is short-tempered and he can work only with I don't know, very smart people, and everybody a little slower than this is very annoying to him. So he should not teach or teach other people on a different level, higher level. So leave other people alone. Don't display your anger, right, and discourage people from learning. So every time when a teacher displays his anger, he discourages other people from learning. I mean, people would feel stupid, right? That they could not understand. It's the worst thing in the world. Number 40. The two faults lead to the same difficulty. The teacher will explain the subject matter in the manner that which he thinks correct. However, he will not be grasped by the student. So, okay, or he thinks that's the best examples that he gave. Okay, maybe those are best examples, but for him, but for other people, that's not the best example, but links to this bashful person. So if there is no feedback, so everybody is quiet. So he thinks that the way he explained, it's very clear. So I mean, very interesting, right? Or he would get angry. People do not understand. So sometimes what I do, I would explain it totally different. But sometimes there is only one straightforward explanation, and person does not want to accept for whatever reason, right? So, but most of the time you can explain it differently, like embellish the subject and stuff like that. So you don't have to get angry, basically. When does above apply? 41. The directive that the teacher should patiently repeat the words without displaying anger. So anger is never allowed, as we learn in Hilchot Dios, right? But displaying anger, as Rambam said there, is actually permitted and actually is needed sometimes to show your kids, right, anger that to your family, that they you ask them to do some religious things and they did not. They lacking and stuff like that. So because they're lazy, because they forgot, because they did not read it seriously. So you're allowed to display anger sometime. Same with the students, but not to be angry inside. That's what Rambam explained there. So one more time, when does above apply? When a student did not understand the subject matter because of the depth, not understand because of the depth of its depth, or because of the limited power of comprehension. So in this, because it's deep, or they are not so advanced, they new people. So I mean, you start teaching them all of the difficult concepts. For example, in this class we skipped Hilchot Torah, the beginning of the book. I mean, because some concept is very very like deep and esoteric and stuff like that. Not because I would say it's not for everybody. It's many times it will be more confusing than productive. So that's one of the reasons we skipped the topic altogether. Okay, but of course you're welcome to read it, and no problem. Okay, so if one more time, if student did not understand because of the depth or because of limited comprehension, okay, so you must explain as many times as needed. However, if it appears to the teacher that they are not applying themselves to the words of the Torah and lacks about them, right, and therefore do not understand, right, he is obligated to display anger toward them and shame them with the words. So what would be the example? The teacher applying them. So not applying them. I'm sorry. I give you this example. Not about the kids. I don't teach kids, but mostly like adults. I mean teenagers, yes, but not little kids. Okay. Teenagers, yes. Okay, so one second. So I would say that the adults, right? So this person, he's a computer programmer. I have this one former student. So he was working on his PhD. He wanted to be a professor in medical in a nursery. So it's not he was not a doctor, but in a nursery you can be like a professor, and like I don't know, he got all of the licenses. Like I would not call this guy stupid. He has all of the licenses of the nursing, registered nurse practitioner. So I mean, top studies and very intense studies. And now when we come to the Torah, he plays so dumb. so do not understand. So, and even you explain, and he would not read. So all of these studies, whatever he needs to do for his job, he would read, and he would be an expert, as I understand. If you almost become professor, maybe by now he is a professor, right? But Judaism, it's like he played dumb. He does not understand. He does not know. He play like stupid. So with this person like that, I mean, up to a certain point, yeah, you would be patient. But after some point, you know, he does not want to do it because of his desires. So it has nothing to do with power of comprehension. Power of comprehension is there. So we're not talking, we're not teaching him some esoteric things, but basically that, for example, one issue that your wife must go to the mikveh, or don't touch her, right, or divorce her, right, whatever comes first, right? So no. So I met him after like 2 years, so we did not see each other and say it. So how was the mikveh? Working with, and he said, yeah, we're still working on it after 2 years later. You understand? So some people are not serious, right? Not serious. Okay, so that's one of the person that you would show some anger, right? And tell them the consequences. Okay, so maybe it's going to be to shake him up. But other people, they do not understand. Wife does not understand about the mikveh. So we would explain here nicely, send all of the videos, all of the material and stuff like that, and as invest as much time as needed. There is no problem whatsoever. So she's not ready. She does not understand. She's scared. She's this. She's that. Absolutely, you have to invest time. But this clown and his wife, unfortunately, it's a different story. Okay, so let's see. So if it's their problem, like their limitation, must be very, very patient. If they lacks because they're not applying themselves, right? So you are obligated to display anger. Commentary. In such a situation, further repetition will not help, for the student will not concentrate then either. I mean, the guy is into his desires, right? So maybe here they're talking about kids, but I'm talking about adults. I don't see any difference, right? Okay, different reasons just. This translation is based on Hilchot Dios 2:3, which explains that the person must act in an angry manner, in an angry, probably manner, to cast fear into the hearts of the others. However, he himself should not be angry. Exactly as explained. That's what Rambam said. So show that you're angry, but don't be angry inside, because it is forbidden. It's like you're serving idols. Okay, so and he should obligate to display anger toward them and shame them with his words, to sharpen their powers of concentration. Number 44. Since their difficulty stem from their lack of concentration, by forcing the students to apply themselves, the teacher will enable them to learn. Okay. That would help in some cases. In this context, our sages said, where was in Ksubas 103b, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi mentioned this concept in his last will and testament. In particular, he advised, this advice was given to his son Rabban Gamliel with regard to the manner in which he should conduct himself as a Nasi. Rambam interprets this lesson as a more general in nature and applies it to the relationship between every teacher and student. Right? Very interesting. And cast fear on, so as Sage says, cast fear onto students, 46. Okay. Similar, Shabbos Tori B states that the student must sit in utter dread of the teacher. So he's not, the teacher and student should not be buddies, for sure, right? I mean, they have to have close relationships, and the student has to trust the teacher and share with him, but not buddies. It must be distance, right? So when it goes a different level, like would play sports together, and when you play basketball, and that's what I saw. And this student that push Rabbi. Of course, Rabbi is older. He cannot run. Even he's trying to. He cannot run as fast. He's a little bigger. He's not as quick. And one guy pushed him, and this guy fell. This Rabbi fell. I think he hurt his knees and stuff like that. But that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate behavior. But these people think, no, I'm going to be buddy with them, and they're going to listen to me. Even though Rambam here is saying, no, it's not going to work. Right? You're going to be just another body, just older here that his other teenager friends. That's it. Right? People, some people try to reinvent this relationship between a teacher and a student and think that their modern way is going to work. Rambam said no, and it's Halachah. Okay. So continue. Therefore, commentary, in order to cultivate an aura of respect, right? It is not fitting for a teacher to act frivolously in the presence of students. Okay, commentary. In general, Rambam advises against frivolous behavior and favors reserved and pleasant and happy approach to others. See Hilchot to 752. We actually learned it, right? So don't be frivolous, don't be lightheaded, stuff like that. People need only say jokes. Everybody be very loud, obnoxious. No, that's not. Rambam said no. You have to be reserved, nice and quiet, and don't talk too much. Pleasant, of course. Smile to people, say good morning, hello to people, of course, but reserved. Continue. You should not. He should not amuse himself in their presence, nor should he eat and drink with them. So why is that? Commentary. This does not imply that the teacher must demonstrate totally a stern approach. Shabbos, same place. What is the same place? Min Tori B. Okay, Tori B. Relates that the Rabbi would begin his lecture with a witty statement. His students would laugh, and afterwards he would sit in awe and begin the lesson. Yeah, go ahead. Question. Somebody wants to talk?
No, sorry, no.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so he started with a joke, right? But sometimes you have to tell a joke, but not when it's serious business. Okay, continue. The restrictions are intended, so they will fear him and study under him in a fast pace. So all of these modern rabbis, right? They play basketball with the students, so they try to be their buddies. But first of all, it's not his job. His job is to teach students Torah. That's it. That's his job. Okay, when he's not teaching, he can. But still, right? Like his job is to teach Torah, and if he would, if they would respect him, they would listen to him. But otherwise, if they do not respect him and think that maybe Rabbi is smarter in whatever in Halachah, but I can beat him in the basketball. He's very very slow, and I can beat him in this sport, that sport. So okay. So and when the students would have a question, he would never ask a rabbi and treat his answer, his opinion, right? Opinion double quote, his opinion as his friend's opinion, right? What is the difference? This rabbi is my friend, and this is my friend. What is it? There is no difference. So that's the scary thing, that people try go against the Halachah and think that they're going to succeed. All right, we finish. Any questions? What we said? Any questions? Okay, so it's very, very Rambam is writing very simple words, very it's like to the point and unbelievable ideas that we must learn and implement in our life. Okay. So continue. When the teacher enters the house of study, a question should not be posed to him until he gathers his powers of concentration. Thus, a student should not ask him until he sits and rests. Two students should not ask at once. A teacher should not be asked about an extraneous matter, but rather only regarding the subject which they are involved with, lest he become embarrassed. The teacher may deliberately lead the students astray with the questions and the deeds he carries out in their presence to sharpen their power of concentration and to test whether they remember that he taught them or not. Needless to say, he may ask them regarding another matter which they are not presently involved with, to spur them on. Okay, so it's very interesting. So what can teacher do and what students can do? It's very interesting. So let's do from the beginning with commentaries and explanations. It's Halachah number 6. When a teacher enters the house of study, questions should not be posed to him until he gathers his power of concentration. Number 50, lest he be probed into responding hastily without thinking out of the matter in its entirety. Okay, so he just came from wherever he was, right? And now they start asking me questions. He's not ready. His mind is somewhere else, especially in the olden days. So it was dangerous on the streets. And, wild animals, there were no paved road, no cars, so people would walk or ride a donkey or a horse and stuff like that. So it was, they have to watch for bandits, this and that. So many things on this teacher's mind. And now he came and they started attacking him. So let him sit down, let him compose himself, and then you ask him, right? Thus, the student should not ask him until he sits and rests. But today, okay. So usually, all the teachers need some time. So teacher would usually come a little early, so prepare himself, whatever. He needs 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever. So he's ready. So basically, in our days. So whenever the class starts, you can ask the question. Most likely that the teacher would be ready. Most likely. So he did not just come in from traveling outside. But if he did, so just give him a few minutes. Okay, so continue. 2 should not ask at once. Commentary. First, this is proper manner. Second, it is impossible to hear 2 people simultaneously. And it's a general rule in Halachah. For example, when we read in Megillah, I don't know the first example in my mind. So that when we read in Megillah, so it says on one hand it says that everybody should read to themselves, but not too loud, right? Not too loud. So because why I'm sitting here, I'm trying to listen to Balkor reading the Megillah, and this guy reads out loud. I cannot read. I cannot hear 2 voices at once, right? So and plus, as Rambam said, it's and not Rambam. But commentary said it's manners. Okay. Rambam is just to the point. Don't do this. A teacher should not be asked about extraneous matters, like something about angels, right? We're learning about, kosher food, and he is asking about angels. And what is Noach's wife name was? Okay, so what is the connection with a chicken is kosher or not? What is the connection? Right. So continue. A teacher should not be asked about extraneous matter, but rather only regarding the subject which they are involved with, lest he become embarrassed. So in this case, maybe the way I understand this line, maybe he prepared only this class. Okay, so to become a teacher, you don't have to be an expert in all the halachas, right? So I would say, if you know Aleph, you can teach Aleph. If you know base, you teach base. You know 3 letters, so you teach 3 letters. You're not you're not claiming to be expert in a Talmud, right? But other people do not know even 3 letters, so you can teach them, right? But if you start asking him about what Rashi said, for Rashi, for him, it's like totally different level, right? So it would embarrass him. Okay, but other people, like, most of the time, if it's not like technical question about the Talmud, what it says, what it did not say, or some specific halachas over the intricate details of some halachas. So if it's general question, I think there is no problem to ask. Okay. 52 commentary. Because he did not know the answer and give an incorrect reply. So that's a very, very scary thing. So some people need to give a reply, no matter what, right? So if they don't give a reply, so even the stupid reply, well, some people. So I would tell people. So why saying that? It does not sound good. You have an explanation for that? And many times they would say, no, I actually do not know. I have to check. But why are you saying like in the first place? Just say I do not know. There is no problem saying I do not know, like, right? But the teacher would be embarrassed and he would give any reply, even the wrong one. You understand? So that's scary. So it says because he did not know the answer and gave an incorrect reply. In Shabbos 3b relates that Rabbi Hia gave Rav this advice after he asked question Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi concerning unclear and unrelated matter. Okay, so he said, don't do it. Okay. The teacher may deliberately lead the students to astray with his questions. 50. So meaning what? To wake people up. Sometimes people fall asleep or they lose their concentration. So you try to lead them astray. Even though yesterday we said the chicken is kosher, so now today say the chicken is not kosher. Say, what do you mean? Now they're paying attention. So and you can develop. Okay. So commentary. Ask him about matters which are unrelated, or he would ask questions, and see whether the students can follow the line of thought. So Brachas 43b relates that Rabbi made a certain statements that ran contrary to the sage's teaching about the mitzvah of sending away the mother bird. The Talmud explained that he did this in order to check the student's knowledge. Okay. Continue. Erwin 13a relates Rabbi Akiva also made statement with similar intent. So just try to see if the students actually paying attention and if they remember what we said yesterday, right? Okay. So one more time the whole sentence. The teacher may deliberately lead the students astray with his questions and the deeds he carries out in their presence to sharpen the power of the concentration. Their presence. For example, Holy Torah 43b relates that Rabbi inspected an animal to see whether it was kosher or not in a manner which contradicts his own teaching. Here too it is explained that intention was to test the students. So if last Sunday or Monday we learned this way, and now this Wednesday we learn like differently. So why don't you ask the question? So last time you said that you understand. So now I'm telling you opposite what I said last time, and you said you understand. Why are you quiet? Right? That's the test. And to test whether they remember what was taught them or not. Okay. Needless to say, he asked them regarding another matter, which they are not presently involved with, to spur on them. 55. Baba Metzia 97a relates that a teacher has a right to change the subject matter which the students are studying. However, it does not provide the explanation to given by the Rambam. Okay. So Rambam just do his own explanation. to pique their curiosity, and simultaneously they desire to learn. Okay, so I mean they're learning anyway. So my personal explanation, right? So that subject is a new material, and this subject is a new material. Okay, it's all of this a new material. So maybe it's not such a big deal. I mean, they're not expected to know this or that. You understand? So totally normal. We finish this Halachah number 6. Any questions? Okay, no problem. So we continue. Yeah, go ahead. Please, go ahead.
You said a couple times, even if the teacher strays them aside or gives wrong answers, what does one do when that happens, or what should one do when that happens?
If teacher gives you a wrong answer, so
Correct. Yes.
First of all, that's an amazing question. So first of all, even if you're not sure, so maybe like let's give this situation example that you're sure that that's not what you learned it yesterday from the book, and it was very clear, and Rabbi with what you learned, with whom you learned, he confirmed. You ask 7 times, he answered you 7 times, you know clearly, and now you ask another person, another teacher, and he gives you totally different answer. So first of all, you have to respectfully, and that's what we do, right? So that's when somebody, like I stopped doing it, but like until just recently, somebody will send me a video and ask if it's kosher. I don't know, like I say it's not. Right, but I say, ask that person respectfully, whatever the speaker respectfully. Why did he say so? I mean, what is his source? Maybe that's not what he meant. I'm not going to watch the whole video. So somebody give me like on 15 minutes, 30 seconds. So I would watch 2 minutes, but maybe it's out of context. I mean, right? So I ask that person, ask him, I ask the person, but respectfully. Don't say it is wrong. So ask him, Kvod Rav, you said this and that. Please teach me why you said that, because I learned a little different or very different from another place. You understand? So maybe an answer that he's going to give you, maybe what you learned, you misunderstood. How do you know? How do you know that you're right? So it's always like what we do. We politely ask people to explain themselves what they meant. And sometimes it was at least maybe 2 times in my life when I talk to a person, to somebody, doesn't matter who, and that person he said, yeah, I misspoke in that video, in that class, I actually misspoke. Yeah, right. He acknowledged it, and he said that somebody was already pointed out you're number 7. Okay, I didn't know about the first 6. Okay, I'm not trying to embarrass somebody, but I was just confused. So always ask politely why the person said so, why teacher said so, and that's it. So, but for a teacher, I mean, teacher is not obligated to give you all of the answers right away. Sometimes we must look up things. I mean, I don't remember all of the halachas from the top of my head. Some of them are simple, right? But some of them not simple. Some of them require deeper research, and some of them they're above my head, right? So I have to ask somebody above me. You understand? Because it's very, very serious things, and I don't want to. I'm not on the level to take responsibility for such matters upon myself. You understand? So just because the teacher does not know answer, it means exactly nothing. I mean, simple answer, of course, but some deeper, some personal, when you give details and stuff like that, so it might require time. So he might not know answer. But some people they shoot from the hip, right? Whatever you ask, they give you answer like this. Yeah, understand? That's the problem. Like I don't know, I told say it or not. So when I used to work in the office. So these crazy younger guys and girls, so they had this rule. I mean, I don't know, it's from bar, from I don't know from where, right? They have a 2 seconds rule, right? That's what they said, 2 seconds. So if one person insults somebody else, so that somebody else have 2 seconds to respond. If they do not respond in 2 seconds, even he responds in 3.5 seconds, and it's very funny, so it's not allowed to laugh. So somebody will say, no, you're not allowed to laugh. You understand? So that's a crazy world. But in our world, I mean, if you do not know, don't say, I do not know. Let me look into it. You understand? So it's a person who deliberately say wrong answer because he does not want to be embarrassed. That's the problem with that person. Did we answer the question or no? Or you meant something else?
No, yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, no problem. So maybe we'll do one more halacha, maybe two. Let's see. At least number 7. So a person should not ask a question while standing, nor should a person respond while standing. One should not ask him from a high place, or from far away, or from or from behind the elders. The question should be asked of a teacher regarding only the subject which they are reading. A question should be asked only with the attitude of awe. A person should ask concerning only 3 halachas while studying the same subject. Okay, so let's try to understand many details. So from the beginning, a person should not ask a question while standing. 57. The laws mention this halacha as well in those previous and subsequent halachas derived from Tosefta, Sanhedrin, chapter 7. Nevertheless, Rambam does not quote these laws in the same order in Tosefta. Okay, no problem. So he has a source, but order in different, quote in different order. No problem. One more time. A person should not ask question while standing, nor should a person respond while standing. Why is that? 58. A person is more composed when seated. Right? As stated Brachas 27b, it is Tosafos Brachas 36a, mentioned instances when the questions were asked while standing. But just one second. So I remember Lerner did not learn this class, but until some time, I think until destruction of the temple, everybody was, I think we learned it before, right? Everybody was standing, student and a teacher, right? But then after the destruction, so everybody was sitting because it was easier for people to sit. Okay, so one more time. A person is why was the explanation just remarked? So Moshe was standing when receiving the Torah from HaShem, as it says. HaShem said, "Stand here with me." So Moshe stood on Mount Sinai. That's was one of the explanations why they were standing. But me personally, I have better concentration while standing than sitting. It's me personally. Okay. But other people, for other people, it's better to sit. So continue. The Beis Hamelach explained that the matters which do not require intense thought may be asked while standing. So okay. So if it's like not very complicated things, okay, while he's standing. But the matters which require concentration should be discussed with both questionnaire and the teacher are seated. So maybe it's not a yes or no question answer. The teacher must explain like a much deeper concept, right? So sometimes people ask the question, but the question they think it's a simple question. I have the student, so he said he always start let me ask you a simple question, and this question, I mean. I think he's sincere. I think, right? He's very sincere. But this question is never simple. Whatever he asks, very it sounds simple, but it's very deep questions, right? So in this case, so they say if it's deep question and it's very long explanations and not such an easy thing to explain, so both of them should be seated. Avodah HaMelech explained that Rambam does not intend to imply that the student should not stand. Right? On the contrary, were he to stand, that would be a sign of respect. Rather, he means that the question should not be addressed to a teacher while the latter is standing. Okay, so while teacher is standing, I mean, but if he teaching standing, there is no problem, basically. Right? But okay. But of course, for a student, so if he wants to ask a question, he should rise and ask the question. No problem. So continue. One should not ask from a high place, from away, from behind, from far away, from behind the elders. So it's very interesting, right? From a high place, so it's like he's higher than the person that he's asking. So or he would shout to him like from a far away. That's a sign of disrespect. So if you want to ask somebody, so come closer. I can talk in a normal tone of voice from the same level. So okay. So continue. He should not ask from a high place, from far away, from behind the elders. So what is the as a sign of it is not a sign of respect for the teacher. So behind the elders, like he would turn his head and he's behind some other rabbis, like it's definitely not respectful. So respectful, one more time, you want to send text message, you want to speak personally, come closer, like and that's very respectful. Be on the same level, standing, sitting, whatever is it. Continue. A question should be asked of the teacher regarding only a subject that they are reading. Number 60. So one of the explanation is maybe teacher is not an expert in any other subject, right? Even like let's say he prepared only this class, or this class and next class, but not beyond that. Say so he does not know. So he does not know what's going on. So and that's very interesting. The case of Mishnah notes the apparent redundancy between this statement and the similar one in the previous Halachah, and explained that in the previous Halachah, the Rambam meant that when studying the law of Shabbos, a student should not ask his teacher about the laws of the festivals. Even though they're close, but there is still difference, right? In this Halachah, Rambam teaches that even with regard to the subject of Shabbos laws, while studying the laws of one Malacha, forbidden act, a student should not inquire regarding another. Right. So in a Halachah, which one? In the previous one, he said, don't change the subject completely. So subject, maybe I would say better example, Shabbos laws and kashrus. Like, okay, two separate things. And here they say like it's general, it's under the same topic, but a little different. So one melacha and another melacha. So we're talking about washing the dishes, and he's asking about sowing, watering the flowers. What is the connection? Those are two separate melachas. Okay. Many. Just 1 second. Okay, so many manuscripts different. I'm going to skip that. According to this text, there is no redundancy. Rather, in this Halachah teaches that the student question should be direct without mentioning any extraneous matter. Okay, so try to, when you ask the question, sometimes, and that's what sometimes people ask me question, and I give them an answer. So, I get reply saying, thank you very much for your answer, but what if this and this? I say, but you did not say these conditions. I say, but if you this and this, opposite is true. Whatever I said, not true, not correct, opposite is true. he said, okay, but what if this and this and this and this? Okay, so if this and this and that, so meaning the first answer is correct one. So like sometimes you need to give all of the details, and sometimes these details are like extraneous, like useless, right? So a person must know or like at least ask what other details, like at least offer like summary of other details, so the rabbi would ask additional questions. Continue. A question should be asked only with the attitude of awe. So what does it mean? Just as Jews received Torah on Mount Sinai with the fear and awe, similarly our study of the Torah must be charged with similar emotions. Brachas 22a. So when there is a lecture and people are laughing, like everything is funny, he's so smart, funny, so that's not learning of the Torah, that's comedy club or something, right? So the Torah was given with Mount Sinai with awe, fear, and no. That's what should be our attitude. And when you are in this state of mind of fear and awe, so you have better concentration. So you concentrate only on this. Why? Because it's very, very important. Right. So the Torah must be charged with similar emotions. It's from sources Brachas 22a. 61. Continue. A person should ask concerning only three halachas. So only three halachas while standing, while studying the same subject. What does it mean? Commentary. For it would be difficult for him to grasp more than three new concepts at the time. Also, it is not courteous to other students for one person to be asking continuously. So okay, so I mean, if nobody else is asking and he has questions, of course, yes. So let ask up to 3 questions. Let somebody else ask. But as we learned before today, so if he has all of these doubts, all of the question, and other people are quiet, yeah, you can ask as many questions as you want. There is no problem. Any questions about what we said? Done with this halacha. Let's see if start. No, next one is very long. I'm not going to start. Very long. Okay, so or questions on any topic we can do, if any. Go ahead.
Yes, Rob.
Go ahead.
Yes. In this week's parsha, where it talks about Noah walked with God, and I'm reading here. Last night I was reading out of the Rashi.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Noah walking with God, but it says regarding Abraham, it says walk before me. Can you maybe explain or a little bit?
Okay, all right. So Noach walks with HaShem, meaning that he was not sure so much about he's doing right, he's doing wrong, like what's going on, like everybody is doing opposite. Maybe I should be like them, and he was constantly in need of the encouragement. So that's what it means. Walk with God. He was as HaShem testified, he was a righteous man. There is no question about it. He's as it says, Noach was a righteous man in his generation, right? So quickly, right? So our sages say, is it compliment or it's a derogatory statement, right? If it's compliment, so meaning he was righteous man. All of them were wicked, and even in this generation of the wicked people, he was a righteous man. So it is a compliment. Everybody wicked, he's righteous. But the other sages, so no, it's actually it's not compliment, it's opposite. How is it opposite? So yeah, in this generation, yeah, of course he was a tzaddik, but in generation of Avraham Avinu, he was would not be such a great guy, like average, right? Even below the average, right? Of course, we compare to students of Avraham Avinu, not all of the other idol worshippers of the time. But Avraham Avinu, he was before God, so HaShem was like behind him, right? And that was like watching him. So he knew what must be done. So one time, like there are different kinds of people. So one person heard the truth one time. He said, "This is the truth. That's what I have to do." And how long it's going to take? It's going to take me as long as it's going to take me. But I know what to do, and he proceeds. You understand? Other people, they constantly they checking, like, well, looking behind, ask the question, "Am I doing right?" Yeah, you're doing right. You asked me yesterday. That's just continue doing. I'm not sure. Some people ask like question. I don't know what they expect of me. I mean, you pray yesterday. You continue praying. Like as I said to some people, so they cannot accept the whole prayer of Shacharis at one time. It's too long. Too long. Okay, no problem. No problem. We don't argue. So I told them just add the little pieces, whatever you can, and I told them the priority. And once a month, 1 and 2 months, whatever your ability are, so just add the next piece, and then in a year or I don't know how long you're going to build up, and you're going to go with the whole shacharis. There is no problem. But some people like ask questions again and again and again about you. Yeah, you asked me. I told you. So that's Noach. So he had all of the doubts, even though Hashem told. Like if Hashem told you, like what doubts you have. But Abraham, right? So he had Hashem in whatever it means, had to hold his hand and walk with him, right? Like next to it. So he would turn his. Oh, Hashem is here. Okay, all right, no problem. But Abraham, he knew Hashem is there. Hashem is everywhere. So I'm going to go straight and teach people Torah and do what I need to do. So that's the difference between Noach and Abraham. And this flood in our rabbinical literature is called the waters of Noach, right? So I'll say the waters of Noach. Noach is, as Hashem said, he's the only person who survived. He's a good guy. He's a positive character. Like why you blaming all of this waters flood of Noach? He said, yeah, because he did not pray enough for his generations. He did not do enough kiruv in his days. That's why they blame this this water on him. Like if somebody, so same concept with us, just so we know, right? So nobody, Hashem does not expect anything from people who are not religious, who think they came from the monkeys. He would not be angry with them as much as with religious people who know Hashem, who are trying to be close, right? Because he expects much more from us. You understand? So that's a scary lesson from Noach. Waters of Noach, right? You are righteous, yes, but you're not doing enough. Okay, that's the difference between Abraham walked before Hashem and Noach walked with Hashem. Okay. Any other questions? All right, no problem. So we stop here then, if no questions, and we can continue. We're going to continue tomorrow, Beezrat HaShem. So tomorrow is the subject Halachos or Brachos. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Kula.